Oun Abbas saying here from Seconds Out with none other than Joshua Buatsi. Josh, I've not seen you since last year, so I've got to do it. I know we're in February, but Happy New Year. How you doing, sir? You all right?
No, I appreciate that. I'm not too bad, man. Like Eddie said, it was a frustrating period, end of last year, sorry, due to like being unwell and that, but it had to be done. Like I said, if somebody got in with me and they ran 100%, it would be a quick shutdown. So I thought, tables turned, you're not well, Josh, so do you box or do you not box? And the team sat me down and said, Buatsi, listen, don't take this fight if you're not 100%. So that's what happened. I'm glad to be back, man.
You still fought 3 times last year. Are you content with your 2019 that you had?
No, because I wanted to have 4. Other than winning that 4th fight, I'm content with it because I boxed 3 times and I won. And I said something to someone yesterday. I was like, sometimes people lose the fights that they're expected to win. So I can't take anything for granted. So I'm happy that I won every fight I had last year.
They're saying 2020 is your breakout year. I reading something at the start of the year, talking world honours already. You're very, very young in your professional career. Yeah. But when you look at somebody like, for example, Lawrence Okolie, you both come from the same background, come through the GB squad, Olympians. You see what he's doing. Is that sort of an aspiration for you to push the levels and push to break the barriers?
It's always inspiring to see someone doing what Lawrence is doing. At the same time, I'm always aware that everyone's an individual, different paths, different weight categories, different challenges. So, but nevertheless, man, big up Okolie, what he's doing. It's amazing. It's inspirational. Like you said, he's one of the least experienced guys that came out of that crop, the Rio 2016 crop. And look what he's doing now, so that I respect.
Talk to me about March 28th. We don't know anything about opposition so far. What's the latest with your side? What are you hearing? Who's been thrown your way?
To be fair, I wouldn't know who's been thrown away yet.
Okay.
Like, my team's looking at that. I'm just back in the gym, sparring, running, working hard, and that's kind of what I'm concentrating on right now. No names has been put to the table yet as to, Buatsi, these are the options. This is who we think we're going to go with. Let my trainer do that. Let him see what I'm like in the gym over the next few weeks. Let him pick who it is. But like I said before, man, as long as I'm ready and I'm improving on what I'm, supposed to be improving on, I think that's good enough to beat anyone. So I don't really look at the opponents, and even watching them, I don't really do that too much because that's the opponent. As long as I'm equipped and learning what I need to learn, I believe that's good enough.
Josh, what's your goals for 2020? At the end of 2020, what will you be happy with? What level, what status, what title would you be happy with?
The titles, and it's hard to say because you could say, you want to win a WBC, but you might win a WBA.
Okay.
But long as I remain undefeated, I've improved. I've had a 50-50 fight. I'll be happy with that. So I feel like the learning fights are still there, and I'll take them while they're there. But I feel like, by the end of the year, we want to say, he ended a good fight. The guy was good, dangerous, and he won. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like the guys that I fought in my last 12 fights, I'm not saying that they've been dead oppositions because they haven't. Some of them have been good, and I've handled business. But, going into more 50-50 fights, and I want to be able to say that, I came out on top.
It's quite refreshing for a fighter to actually say something like that because not a lot of fighters say that. Where they got to be real.
Got to be real. You have to, especially in boxing, you have to be real, man. Because when you get in and that bell goes, and you ain't being real and you're not ready, you get found out. So I think there's a lot of expectations from the boxers, but you have to remember there's trainers and managers. That your trainer will see how you're developing, how good you're coming along, and he'll be like, okay, cool. You've learned what you need to learn to beat this guy. Off you go. Rather than a boxer trying to guide the career, I think that's a mistake that can be made. But I think there's a balance that needs to be made. The boxer's got to say, coach, I feel I'm ready for this guy. I can take him, and the coach has got to say, based on their experience, the boxer's ready for it.
Just want to talk about March 28th again. Josh Kelly, somebody you know quite well,
yeah.
Obviously come through the ranks together. Or a headline though too. It's a big achievement for somebody who's 10-11 fights in. As a fighter, headlining a show like this, how can you put it into words?
We need to ask Kelly, man, because I haven't done that yet. But I mean, from the outside, it's a big thing, man. He's from Sunderland. He's not even from London, so I rate that he's able to come to London and headline. I can talk about Kelly in terms of his ability because that's what I do know, and I think Kelly's very good, man. Some of the things he does, I've always said to him, Kelly, what you're doing, it can't be taught. Like, how do you do that? You can't teach someone what he does. That's my personal opinion anyway. So So I rate Kelly a lot, man. Like I said, man, what he does is a walk in the park for him. You don't think about walking. When you and I are walking, we just walk naturally, normally. And what he does, that's how he does it. But if we're trying to do it, we can't do it. So I rate Kelly a lot, man. Tougher position he's got. I think the guy's name's Avanesian. Good fighter as well. I haven't seen much of him, but the glimpse that I've seen, he seems to be an aggressive fighter, strong fighter. And it's over 12 rounds. We heard the little debate about the last one being a 10-rounder or a 12-rounder. So it's a long fight, and Kelly's got to apply himself, and so has the other guy. So after I box, I'll be there sitting down and watching.
Just 2 questions away from March 28th. First of all, a big fight happening next weekend, heavyweight division, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury in Las Vegas. Talk to me about that fight. How do you see that fight playing out, the rematch?
Again, man, just that quote that Wilder says, you got to be perfect for 12 rounds, he's got to be perfect for 1 second. That sums it up, man. But the thing is, I feel Fury can be perfect for 12 rounds. In the last fight, I think he got put down twice, I think it was, but he got up. And even the 12th round, I had him winning that even though he got put down. So it'll be an interesting one. Wilder's got to pin down probably the most elusive heavyweight ever, and Fury's got to stay out of trouble from probably one of the most devastating punches in the heavyweight division. So it'll be quite interesting.
Finally, it's a bit of a different one. Floyd Mayweather's talking about coming back. There's talks about Conor McGregor and Khabib, sort of a crossover fight once again. Manny Pacquiao seems to have signed a management deal with the MMA company that deals with MMA fighters. The same company that's actually managing Conor McGregor. They're actually talking about a fight. What would you make of if that fight sort of came to play?
But it doesn't interest me, man. I'll probably watch it on the night, but the whole build-up and everything doesn't interest me, man. I think, do you know what it is? It's because I've probably got a date now, so I'm thinking, and when we're talking date, we're not talking Valentine's. I know today's 14th of February, but March 28th, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of. So maybe on the night I'll be watching, I'm thinking, how's Pep-Man going to get on? But I'm a boxer, man. I'm not at that stage of my career yet where you start doing crossover things like that. So for now, for me, it's boxing. The pure boxing matches are what I'm interested in.
Cool. Josh, I want to thank you for giving Seconds Out your time. Good luck March 28th, and we'll catch you fight week. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, yeah.